Echoes of Us, written by Azalea Moon, Episode 4.
I pull up to Rhythm Records, once JM Records, named after the only man who ever gave a damn. Jorge Morales, Camila's father. The name change still makes my stomach twist. Victor didn't just rebrand the building, he erased a legacy. Jorge built this place with sweat, soul, and everything he had. And Victor? He paved over it like none of it mattered. The neon sign above the door flickers, barely clinging to life, just like Victor. I kill the engine and step out. Reggaeton thumps from inside, louder than necessary, deliberately so. It vibrates through the pavement, trying too hard to feel alive. This used to be a place of magic. Now, it reeks of rot. Inside, the scent hits me first. Cheap cologne, stale whiskey, something sour beneath it all. The receptionist clocks me, but doesn't ask questions. I look around, memories rushing in. I used to come here all the time as a teenager, back when the studio was alive. Before money laundering, before the lies, before prison. Victor's office waits at the end of the hall, tucked behind a row of dusty gold records that mean absolutely nothing now. I don't knock. The door creaks open. Victor sits behind a sleek glass desk, trying to look composed. He's not. A half-empty bottle of rum leans against his elbow, smoke curling from the cigarette in his other hand. His suit's crisp. He looks up, eyes bloodshot, hollow. For a man who once had everything, Victor looks like he's lost it all.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
I don't sit. I don't blink. I told you to stay away from her. Victor leans back, mouth curling into a lazy smirk.
And I told you some ghosts should stay buried.
My fists clench at my sides. Heat pulses through me, sharp and electric. You don't touch her. You don't watch her. You don't go near her. Victor takes a slow sip of rum, completely unfazed.
Can't do that, brother.
He taps a finger to his temple, eyes gleaming with something dangerous.
See, I had a little memory jog last night. Seeing Camila Morales made me think about things I haven't thought about in a long time.
I know that tone, the one Victor used when he wanted to set something on fire and watch it burn.
Tell me, Sebastian, how much do you know about old recording tapes?
My pulse slows, not in relief, in dread. What tapes?
The ones her dear sweet dad admitted to recording. According to him, every single deal I ever made, documented, cataloged, and stashed away like a ticking time bomb. I've spent years wondering if the old man was bluffing. Camila cleared out his office before I had a chance to search, and then she disappeared. Her return means the potential return of those tapes.
Finally, something that incriminates you instead of me. Why should I help you?
Because the wrong people think it exists. And if it's out there, it's not just me who goes down.
Victor doesn't blink, just swirls the rum in his glass like this is all some twisted game. My stomach tightens. You're lying.
Oh, how I wish I were.
But the words fall flat, because I already know he's not. Victor studies me for a beat, then grins, slow, sharp, and cruel. My pulse roars in my ears, but I keep my face still. I won't give him the satisfaction. He leans back, satisfied.
So, here's the deal. You get me that tape, and I stay out of your little reunion tour with Camila. Or don't, and we'll see who finds it first.
Silence stretches between us, thick and suffocating. I don't say another word, just turn for the door. I don't stop. Don't look back. Can't. Because right now, I need to find that tape before he does. My pulse slams against my ribs. I've just put her in more danger than ever before. She's walking blind into something I've barely survived myself. And if Victor even suspects she knows more than she's letting on, God help us both. I storm out of Rhythm Records, fists clenched so tight my knuckles crack. Victor's voice follows me like a curse.
You get me that tape and I stay out of your little reunion tour with Camila.
I knew he was a liar, a manipulator, but Victor doesn't bluff, not when he's like this. Desperate, calculated. That tape is real. And if it's real, Cece might already be in danger. A fresh wave of fury surges through me as I yank open the door to my car, sliding into the seat with more force than necessary. The engine growls to life, but I barely hear it over the pounding in my chest. I should calm down, breathe, think. Instead, I pull out my phone and hit her number. One ring. Mari picks up.
How bad was it?
Says there's a tape, one Jorge recorded before he died. Claims it has everything. Every deal, every name.
Hey, let me guess. He wants you to find it.
Exactly. In exchange for leaving Camila alone. Mari is quiet for a moment.
You think he's bluffing?
I don't. Not about this. He's scared, Mari. That means it's real. And if it's real, Cece's sitting on a landmine.
And she doesn't even know it?
Not sure yet, but I'm going to find out.
So what's the play?
I exhale sharply, trying to keep my voice level. You still picking her up?
That's the plan. She might not come willingly, though. She doesn't know me.
And make sure she gets there, one way or another.
You really think that's the best way to handle this?
I think if Victor finds that tape before we do, we're all screwed.
Where are you now?
Heading home, I need to freshen up before Camila gets there.
So you're planning on looking good while delivering 20 years of secrets? Bold choice, boss.
I smirk despite myself, shaking my head. Just make sure she gets there, Mari.
Yeah, I'll handle it. But Sebastian, are you sure you're ready for this?
No, I'm definitely not. But I don't have a choice, so instead of answering, I simply say, see you tonight. And then I hung up and hit the gas, racing toward a night that could either bring me and Camila back together or tear us apart for good. The road unwinds beneath my wheels, but my thoughts are stuck in Victor's office, sharp words still ringing in my ears. My mind lets go and drifts back to the worn-out shores of memory, back to when things were simpler, before the bitterness, before the silence between us grew so loud that I can still hear it over the hum of the engine. I see my brother not as the man time has sculpted, but as the boy I'd known, all scraped knees and boundless laughter. The kid who used to sneak me candy when mommy wasn't looking, who'd swear up and down he'd never tell my secrets, then tell them anyway, laughing like it didn't matter because we were blood. That image shimmers at the forefront of my thoughts, a vibrant snapshot against the muted backdrop of the present. Back before ambition curdled into greed, before loyalty became leverage, before he sold me out to save himself. I blink, the road stretching ahead of me as the city whirs by in a blur of brake lights and shadow. That boy is gone, buried beneath Armani suits and dirty money. And me? I'm about to dig up every last skeleton we buried, starting with Jorge's tape. Growing up, Victor was my protector, my biggest champion. He is 5 years older, taller, louder, always one step ahead, and always looking back to make sure I was keeping up. He taught me how to ride a bike, running beside me down the cracked sidewalk in front of our old building, until I finally found my balance. He defended me from the older kids who tried to rough me up at the park. Saved up his allowance for months just to buy me my first pair of headphones. Cheap neon green things that barely worked, but to me, they sounded like magic. Even when we got older, when most brothers start drifting into their own lives, Victor never left mine. He showed up to every basketball game, wearing my jersey number like he'd earned it himself. And when I booked my first DJ set at the community center, he was the loudest voice in the room, shouting my name like I was already famous. Back then, he was the one person I never doubted. Back then, I would have sworn he'd never betray me. Now, the silence between us is a canyon I don't know how to cross. And all I can do is wonder when the shift happened. When my brother stopped being my shield and became the sword pressed to my throat. Victor's mentorship under Jorge felt like fate. The way they clicked, Victor's hustle, Jorge's vision, it made sense. Jorge saw something in him, something raw and ambitious, and Victor soaked it all up like a sponge. At first it felt like a win for all of us, a way to keep the circle tight, family, successful. And he didn't keep it all to himself. Victor used to pull me into their conversations, even when I was just a teenager with no business being at that table. He'd sit me down, break things down in ways I could understand. Show me contracts, demo reels, radio tracking sheets. Talk percentages and promotion strategies like he was prepping me for war.
You're gonna need to know all this when you're running your own label someday.
He'd say, slapping a hand over my shoulder, pride in his voice.
You've got the ear, the instinct. We'll build something together.
And I believed him. God, I believed him. Because back then I still thought we wanted the same things. But success in the music industry? It didn't come easy. Not like Victor expected. He had the charm, the hustle, that magnetic energy that pulled people in and made them believe. But belief didn't pay invoices, and charm didn't make deadlines. The nightlife hit first, those endless industry parties, the ones that smelled like sweat, champagne, and ambition. That's where it started. A bump here, a line there, just to keep the night going, he'd say. But the nights kept getting longer, and so did the lines. By early 2002, he was chasing more than just hits. He wanted to live like the moguls on magazine covers, fast, flashy, untouchable. But the money wasn't enough. The label wasn't pulling in what Jorge projected. So Victor started making moves. Quiet ones. It began small, skimming a little off event revenues, fudging the numbers on merch sales. Creative accounting, he called it, like that made it less illegal. I told myself it was temporary, that he had a plan, that he was just trying to keep the lights on. But in my gut, I already knew we were in trouble. The changes were subtle at first. Victor's wardrobe, flashier than ever. New watches, custom suits, shoes that cost more than most people's rent. But the man inside them, he was unraveling. He stopped sleeping, or maybe he just stopped looking like he had. His eyes, once sharp and calculating, always had this sheen, like he was watching shadows move that no one else could see. He twitched more, laughed at things that weren't funny. And the mood swings? Unpredictable as hell. One night, he'd be all charm and big plans, talking about expansion, new artists, taking the label global. The next, he'd be slamming doors, barking at assistants, accusing everyone of betrayal. I remember asking him once, "Are you okay?"
I'm just tired from working so hard. You know me.
Yeah. I did know him. At least, I thought I did. He was Victor. My protector. My mentor. The one who taught me to stand up for myself. Who shoved headphones over my ears when I was 10 and said,
You hear that, brother? That's the sound of your future.
I wanted to believe him. I needed to believe him. But even then, part of me knew the man I looked up to was slipping, and I didn't know how to stop it. The signs became harder to ignore. Victor started taking private calls, never in the office, always stepping out, speaking in hushed tones, his back to the room. He'd hang up the second anyone got too close, pretending nothing happened. Once, I caught him behind the building in a full-blown argument with a guy I'd never seen before. Tall, expensive suit. The kind of man who didn't need to say a word to let you know he was dangerous. The kind of man who shouldn't be hanging around a family-run label built on beats and borrowed dreams. Victor's voice was low, sharp, and when he noticed me watching, he ended the conversation fast. When I asked him about it later, he gave me that crooked grin, the one that used to feel like home.
Business disagreement? Nothing to worry about, lil bro.
But I saw his hands, trembling, not from cold, from fear. It was the first time I saw it, that crack in the armor, the first time I admitted to myself something was wrong. Really, truly wrong. A blaring horn yanked me back to the present. I'd drifted so far I barely noticed I was already a block from home. It's only 11 a.m., but the day's already unraveling at the seams. My body's running on fumes, my mind won't shut up. And tonight's still waiting. I need to pull it together. I wonder what's going through Camila's mind.
I haven't stopped pacing since Sebastian walked out. The business card taunts me from the coffee table. Sebastian's home address scrawled across the back like a dare. New Jersey. Of course it's Jersey. I'd have to cross the damn river for this. My nerves are already shot, my heart still pounding from this morning's chaos. I clench and unclench my fists, trying not to spiral. If I let myself think too long, I'll talk myself out of everything. Again. Then, bam, my front door flies open.
All right, bitch, move. I brought provisions.
Maggie storms in like she owns the place, balancing a brown paper bag in one hand and a bottle of tequila in the other. I blink at her. You have a key?
Duh, in case of emergency, such as this exact moment.
She kicks the door shut behind her with a dramatic hip check and strides to the counter. The bag hits it with a thud. She turns to face me, expression sharp.
And based on the sheer chaotic energy radiating off you right now, I was absolutely right to come.
She pulls 2 takeout containers from the bag like she's unveiling treasure.
Tacos for strength, tequila for courage. Now sit before you combust.
I sigh, loud enough to be dramatic, and let her steer me onto the couch. Maggie plops down beside me, already pouring 2 shots. She slides one into my hand like it's a prescription.
All right, we talking about it, or are we going straight to emotional support drinking?
I hesitate, fingers tightening around the glass. Then I raise it. Both.
Good answer.
We clink. The tequila burns like fire down my throat, and I wince. Maggie sets her glass down with a contented sigh.
Okay, spill. Are you going to his place or what?
My eyes flick to the business card again. My fingers twitch toward it, then pull back like it might bite. I don't know, I admit, my voice smaller than I want it to be. He lied to me, Mags. For 20 years. He let me believe he was dead. Maggie nods, chewing thoughtfully.
Yep. That's some grade A tragic novella bullshit.
Right? I throw my hands up. So why do I still... The words catch. I press a hand to my chest. Why do I still ache for him?
Because you loved him, and maybe you still do?
I let out a sharp breath. That's not helping.
Fine, then let's be logical.
She grabs another taco, talking through a mouthful like she's leading a board meeting.
You go to his place, you get answers, you decide what to do from there. Worst case, you walk away with the truth. Best case, Jersey isn't that far, and babe, let's not pretend you have needs.
I groan and shove her shoulder. You're the worst.
And yet here I am picking out your outfit.
She says, already jumping up. Maggie?
Nope.
She's already on her feet, eyes lit with urgency, grabbing my hand and tugging me toward the bedroom, before I can say a word.
You can be nervous later. Right now, we have a mission. Hot, emotionally devastating outfit.
I let her drag me down the hall, the tequila sloshing in my stomach, my heart racing for reasons that have nothing to do with alcohol. Because no matter how many reasons I try to invent not to go, I'm going. And I'm aching to see him again. A few hours, and more tequila shots than I probably needed. Later, I take one last look in the mirror. My hands are steady, but there's a flicker in my eyes. Nerves, maybe. But I've been through worse, and tonight, I show up. The black silk dress hugs just enough, sexy but not desperate. My skin glows with a subtle shimmer, like I'm lit from inside. The gold necklace at my collarbone catches the light when I tilt my head just so. Every detail is intentional, even the perfume. A slow bloom scent made to linger, to haunt. Behind me, Maggie's draped across the bed like a tipsy goddess, spinning the empty tequila bottle between her fingers like she just won the Hunger Games.
See if he doesn't take one look at you and regret every dumbass decision he's ever made. Then I will personally slap him on your behalf.
I snort, stuffing my lipstick and phone into my purse. You can slap him anyway. Maggie grins, eyes glassy but full of chaotic love.
Oh, I plan to, but first we get you to Jersey.
She squints at her phone, scrolling.
Okay, is an Uber Black willing to cross the river? What's gonna cost?
We both freeze. My head snaps toward the door, heart thundering in my chest. Maggie bolts upright so fast she almost falls off the bed.
You expecting company?
I shake my head. No. She blinks at me.
Bessie, if Sebastian just showed up here, I will die. I will simply collapse right here and...
But I'm already moving. I grab my phone, swipe open the camera feed, and my blood goes cold. Oh, hell no. She's standing there. The woman from earlier. The same one who met Sebastian outside my building. Black jacket, hands in the pockets, her posture cool and deliberate, like she knows she's the problem. My stomach tightens. Maggie scrambles over, pressing in close to see.
Oh no. Is that who I think it is? Ice Queen Barbie?
I tap the speaker icon. My voice comes out steady somehow, but inside, everything's buzzing. Who are you? And what do you want? The woman doesn't flinch. She just looks straight up at the camera, voice even, precise.
Camila Morales, my name is Marina Rodriguez. Sebastian asked me to escort you to his place, considering it's a long drive. And I'm heading that way anyway. I figured I'd save you the hassle of taking an overpriced Uber.
I narrow my eyes at the screen. Oh, did he now? Behind me, Maggie huffs.
Bit presumptuous of him, don't you think?
I press the speaker button again. You expect me to just Get in a car with a total stranger? Marina exhales through her nose, calm as ever. Then she reaches into her jacket and flashes a badge.
Former Marine, private security, I work for Sebastian. I'm not here to kidnap you, Ms. Morales.
Maggie and I exchange a look. She squints at the screen.
Okay, she looks legit, but that's exactly what someone trying to kidnap you would say.
I sigh. Maggie folds her arms.
I don't know, see, we should verify her or something, like, have her come in.
I turn and give her a look. You want me to invite her in? She nods, completely serious.
Yeah, that way if she is a kidnapper, we can, ambush her.
I pinch the bridge of my nose. You're half drunk.
And yeah, still making points.
Maggie gestures dramatically to the door.
Do it.
I take a deep breath and start to unlock the door when Maggie grabs my wrist, eyes wide.
Bestie, what if she's, secretly an assassin?
I stare at her. You need water.
Maybe, but also, be ready to run.
I exhale slowly, nerves tightening in my stomach like a knot I can't undo. Because no matter what Marina Rodriguez is here to say, something tells me tonight is about to change everything. I hesitate, just for a second, then I unlock the door. Marina stands there, still and neutral, hands clasped, eyes sharp, measuring. Up close, she's even more composed. Not just calm, but trained. The kind of person who always knows the exits, always clocks the danger. I step aside, wordless. She enters without hesitation. Maggie straightens, her tequila haze gone in an instant. Before I can speak, she crosses her arms and hits Marina with the full Alvarez glare.
So we should just believe you're here to give my friend a ride?
Marina turns to her, completely unfazed.
I assume you're Maggie Alvarez.
I assume Sebastian told you that.
Well, you match the description he gave. Chaotic, overprotective, and will definitely have something to say about this.
Okay, she's good, I'll give you that.
I sigh and grab my phone off the counter. I just need to grab a few last things. I glance at Marina. Make yourself comfortable, if that's possible. She says nothing, just nods once. Maggie smirks like she's just been handed a new plaything. As I head toward my bedroom, I hear her fire off the first shot.
So Marina, how exactly does one become Sebastian's head of security?
A combination of military training, private security experience, and being one of the few people he trusts. By the way, you can call me Mari.
I shut the bedroom door and block it out. I've got work to do. Laptop open, fingers flying. If Marina Rodriguez is legit, I'll find her. Military records, licenses, archived news, LinkedIn, anything. And there she is. Marina Rodriguez, 8 years in the Marines, private sector work, high-profile clients, advanced threat assessment. Her name's on Sebastian's foundation paperwork. Security training programs for former inmates, targeted outreach for at-risk youth. She's real. More than that, she's good. I sit back slowly, the weight of it settling in my chest. Mari wasn't here to manipulate me. Sebastian really sent her to protect me. And that truth? It stings. Out in the living room, Maggie's voice cuts through the door, still riding high on suspicion.
So tell me, Mari, what's your vibe here? Cold-hearted bodyguard, or do you actually give a damn about the guy?
A pause. Then Mari answers, softer than before.
Sebastian saved my little brother's life. I owe him mine. That's my vibe.
Shit, now I like you.
I sighed, closing my laptop with a soft click. All right, I was ready. I stepped out of my bedroom, shoulders squared, my expression blank on purpose. Armor I could still wear. Maggie looked up from the couch. Her gaze swept over my outfit, and she let out a low whistle and teased.
Ooh, he's gonna feel this one.
I rolled my eyes but let the smirk escape. You'll be the first to know if he spontaneously combusts. Maggie stood and crossed to me, resting a hand on my arm, grounding me for a second.
You sure you're good?
I exhaled no, but I'm going anyway. From his spot by the couch, Bruno stirred, finally awake. My sweet, lazy golden retriever had slept through the chaos, the yelling, the drinking, but the second Mari shifted toward the door, his head popped up, his eyes locked on her like radar. Mari paused, watching as Bruno padded over, gave her boots a sniff, then circled once. Then, tail wag. Maggie pointed, triumphant.
Well, if Bruno approves, I guess you're all right.
Mari raised a single brow.
Good to know your vetting process includes a golden retriever.
He has impeccable judgment.
I crouched, scratching behind Bruno's ears. Be good, baby. I'll be back soon. He gave me one slow thump of his tail, then flopped over like a drama king. Maggie pressed a hand to her chest.
Iconic, I love him.
I shook my head and grabbed my purse. All right, let's go. Mari gave Maggie a short, respectful nod, then opened the door. I stepped out, my pulse already spiking. Behind me, Maggie calls out,
If she doesn't come back in one piece, I will find you.
Understood.
and just like that, we leave. The door closes behind me with a soft click, sealing the warmth of my apartment on the other side. I follow Mari down the steps of my brownstone, the chill of the night air wrapping around my bare arms, like a question I haven't answered yet. The city hums around us. Distant traffic, a dog barking down the block, the low murmur of someone arguing into a phone from a second-story window. It's all familiar, and somehow, none of it feels real. My heels click against the stone as we descend the stoop, one step at a time. Each one feels heavier than the last. Mari moves like she's done this 100 times. Calm, precise, eyes always scanning. I try to match her steadiness. I fail. Because even now, even knowing I said yes to this, I feel like I'm unraveling inside. I told Maggie I wasn't sure I was okay. That wasn't the whole truth. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of something sharp. Like seeing Sebastian again might slice me wide open. 20 years. 20 years of grief, of guilt, of trying to make peace with a ghost. And now, I'm supposed to walk into his house like he didn't leave me buried under the rubble of our past? No, I'm not okay. But I'm going anyway. Mari unlocks a sleek black SUV parked just past the curb. She opens the back door like a professional, and I hesitate, just for a second. This is the moment, the tipping point. Once I get in that car, everything changes. I glance up at my brownstone, the front door, the stairs, Maggie's silhouette in the window barely visible behind the curtain. Home. Safe. Familiar. I get in the car. The door closes with a soft thunk that sounds way too final. Mari settles into the driver's seat and pulls away from the curb without a word. Outside the window, my block blurs past. The deli on the corner, the bodega with the flickering sign, the place that still makes the best empanadas in Brooklyn. All of it slips away, and all I can think is, I'm really doing this. I'm really going to see him. And I don't know if I want to scream, cry, or kiss him the second I do. Maybe all three.
That's it for this week's episode of Echoes of Us. But the story is far from over. New episodes drop every Thursday, so be sure to follow, subscribe, and never miss a moment. Thank you for listening and being a part of the story. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider leaving a review or sharing with a friend. It helps more listeners find us. Until next time, listen closely, because sometimes the past isn't as far away as it seems.